There is a paradox that has haunted seekers, dreamers, and warriors of the soul since the dawn of time. It is the contradiction that sits at the heart of all desire, the cruel trick the universe plays on those who try too hard. It whispers an unsettling truth. The more you chase something, the further it runs from you. The more you struggle for control, the more life slips through your grasp. Think of water. If you plunge your hands into a clear pond, desperately trying to seize a handful, the liquid scatters and escapes between your fingers. But if you relax your hand and let it rest in the water's embrace, the coolness cradles you effortlessly. This is the secret most people never realize. The harder you try, the less you receive. The moment you let go, everything comes to you. This is the essence of the backwards law, an ancient principle woven through the teachings of Zen masters, Stoic philosophers, and esoteric wisdom keepers. It is the law that governs happiness, success, and even enlightenment. Yet most of humanity remains blind to it, caught in an endless struggle, chasing a mirage that recedes with every desperate step. But what if you could break free from this illusion? What if, by understanding the backwards law, you could unlock the secret to getting everything you've ever desired, without chasing, forcing, or struggling? In this video, we will unravel the mysteries of this profound paradox. We will explore its roots in ancient wisdom, dissect how it shapes your reality, and reveal how to wield its power to transform your life. Prepare to see the world in a way you never have before, because once you understand the backwards law, you will never look at desire, struggle, or success the same way again. The backwards law is not a new discovery. It has been whispered through the ages, hidden within the words of sages, mystics, and philosophers who understood that the greatest truths are often the ones that defy logic. More than 2,000 years ago, Laozi, the ancient Chinese philosopher and author of the Tao Te Ching, wrote, "By letting go, it all gets done. The world is won by those who let it go. But when you try and try, the world is then beyond winning." These words encapsulate the essence of the backwards law, the realization that grasping too tightly pushes what we desire further away. Centuries later, the Zen master Takuan Soho taught samurai warriors that the key to mastery was not in force, but in surrender. A rigid mind, obsessed with victory, would lead to failure. But an empty mind, one that flowed effortlessly with the moment, would find victory without striving. This is why great swordsmen seemed almost supernatural in battle, because they had ceased to resist, ceased to think, and in that state of surrender, they became unstoppable. In the West, the Stoics understood this principle as well. Marcus Aurelius, the great philosopher king, wrote in his Meditations, "If you are distressed by anything external, it is not the thing itself that troubles you, but your judgment about it." He recognized that suffering arises from resistance. The more we resist reality, the more we suffer. The more we let go, the more peace we find. Even modern thinkers have stumbled upon this truth. Alan Watts, the British philosopher who introduced Eastern wisdom to the West, famously spoke of the paradox of happiness. The more we strive for it, the more elusive it becomes. To be truly happy, you must let go of the need to be happy. The backwards law, then, is not a mere philosophical curiosity. It is a fundamental principle of existence. It governs wealth, love, peace, success, and even spiritual enlightenment. But why does the universe work this way? And how can we turn this knowledge into power? To answer that, we must go deeper. Imagine a man drowning in the ocean. In his panic, he thrashes, kicks, and fights against the water, desperate to stay afloat. But the more he struggles, the faster he sinks. His body, rigid with fear, betrays him. Now imagine another man, one who understands the secret of water. Instead of struggling, he relaxes, allowing himself to float. The ocean, which once seemed like an enemy, now cradles him effortlessly. This is the backwards law in action. The harder you try, the more you fail. The moment you surrender, everything changes. But why does this happen? The answer lies in the nature of desire itself. When you desperately want something, happiness, success, love, you are also reinforcing the fact that you lack it. Your mind focuses on the absence rather than the presence. And in a universe where thoughts shape reality, this focus creates more of what you do not have. Think about someone who is obsessed with being rich. They chase money with relentless desperation, constantly thinking, I need more, I don't have enough. But in doing so, they live in a state of scarcity. They radiate lack. And the universe responds not to what they want, but to what they are. And they remain trapped in a cycle of never having enough. Now consider someone who embodies abundance, even if they have little. They move with ease, unburdened by need. They do not chase wealth. It simply comes to them. Opportunities arise. People are drawn to them. They create without attachment, and in doing so, they magnetize everything they once desired. The backwards law operates everywhere. In relationships, those who desperately seek love often repel it, their neediness pushing people away. Those who are content with themselves, however, naturally attract others. In happiness, those who chase pleasure become miserable, always needing more to feel satisfied. But those who let go of the need for happiness often find themselves unexpectedly joyful. Even spiritual enlightenment follows this principle. The seeker who strives, who forcefully meditates in pursuit of awakening, often finds only frustration. But the one who lets go, who surrenders, who stops seeking, they are the ones who suddenly awaken to the truth. So if effort leads to failure and surrender leads to success, what does this mean for how we should live? Should we simply do nothing? Should we abandon all ambition? Not quite. There is a deeper nuance to the backwards law, one that reveals how to act without striving, how to achieve without attachment. And to understand this, we must go further. If struggle leads to failure and surrender leads to success, does that mean we should stop trying altogether? Should we abandon ambition, quit pursuing our goals, and simply drift through life? Not quite. The backwards law is not about inaction. It is about non-attachment. It is the difference between effort and effortlessness, between control and flow. Consider the art of archery in Zen practice. A beginner grips the bow tightly, strains to aim, and desperately wants to hit the target. But his very effort disturbs the arrow's flight, the tension in his muscles, the anxiety in his mind. These things sabotage him. But the master archer? He does not try to hit the target. He becomes the act of shooting. His hands are steady. His mind is empty. The arrow flies effortlessly and strikes true. This is the secret of mastery in all things. The musician who plays not to impress, but simply for the joy of playing, creates beautiful music. The writer who lets words flow rather than forcing them crafts poetry that moves the soul. The businessman who acts from a place of inspiration rather than desperation finds success without struggle. This is what the ancient Chinese called Wu Wei, effortless action. It does not mean doing nothing, it means acting without force. It is sailing with the wind rather than against it. It is moving with life rather than resisting it. A river does not force its way to the ocean. It simply flows. When it meets a rock, it does not struggle. It moves around it. Yet, through patience and persistence, even the hardest stone is worn smooth by water. So what does this mean for your life? It means letting go of the illusion of control. It means trusting the process. You still work toward your goals, but without obsession. You still take action, but without fear. You surrender your need for things to happen your way, on your timeline. And paradoxically, when you do this, when you stop forcing, things fall into place in ways you never imagined. The backwards law is not about passivity. It is about presence. It is about acting without grasping, creating without clinging, and moving through life with the ease of one who trusts the universe to meet them halfway. But how do we apply this practically? How do we shift from striving to flowing, from resistance to surrender? The answer lies in the way we think, the way we breathe, and the way we respond to life's challenges. Understanding the backwards law is one thing. Living it is another. Most people are conditioned to believe that success, happiness, and fulfillment come only through effort, struggle, and relentless striving. Breaking free from this mindset requires a shift, not just in how you act, but in how you perceive reality. The first step is awareness. Begin to notice where in your life you're trying too hard. Are you forcing a relationship to work, clinging to someone who is drifting away? Are you obsessively chasing success, feeling that you are never enough? Are you desperately seeking happiness, only to feel emptier with each attempt? Recognizing these patterns is the key to breaking them. The second step is letting go, not of action, but of attachment to outcomes. When you take a step toward your goal, do so with presence, not desperation. Imagine planting a seed. You do not dig it up every day to check if it is growing. You water it, give it sunlight, and trust that nature will do the rest. The same is true for everything in life. Act, but do not cling to results. One of the most powerful ways to cultivate this mindset is through mindful action. Whether you are working, creating, or pursuing a passion, practice doing without forcing. Try this exercise. 1. Pick an activity. Writing, playing music, even something simple like washing dishes. 2. As you do it, notice any resistance, frustration, or impatience. 3. Then, let go. Relax into the moment. Focus only on the action itself, not on the outcome. This is the heart of Wu Wei, effortless action. When you bring this practice into all aspects of your life, you will find that everything flows more smoothly. Another crucial tool is breathwork and meditation. The mind that grasps, clings, and obsesses is often a restless mind. Practicing deep breathing, slow, deliberate inhales and exhales can shift you into a state of ease. A simple technique. 1. Breathe in deeply for 4 seconds. Second hold for 4 seconds. 3. Exhale for 6 seconds. 4. Repeat until your body relaxes and your mind quiets. Over time, this practice will rewire your nervous system, teaching you to let go of control and flow with life. Finally, embrace trust. Not blind faith, but a deep knowing that life unfolds in its own rhythm. When you stop chasing, things have a way of coming to you. When you stop demanding, opportunities appear. And when you let go, you make space for miracles. The backwards law is not just a philosophy. It is a way of being. It is the secret to unlocking everything you desire, not by grasping, but by surrendering. But what happens when you fully embrace this truth? What changes in your life when you finally stop struggling and start allowing? The greatest paradox of life is this: when you stop trying so hard, everything you've ever wanted begins to flow to you. Not because you have given up, but because you have aligned yourself with the natural rhythm of existence. The backwards law reveals a hidden truth, one that sages, warriors, and mystics have known for centuries. When you let go of the desperate need for love, it finds you. When you stop chasing success, opportunities arise effortlessly. When you release the obsession with happiness, you discover joy in the simplest moments. And when you surrender the struggle for control, life begins to unfold in ways more profound than you could ever have imagined. The ocean doesn't struggle to reach the shore. The stars do not strive to shine. The tree doesn't force itself to grow. They all simply allow. And in that allowing, they become exactly what they were meant to be. Now it is your turn. Where in your life are you forcing? Where are you clinging, resisting, or struggling? Take a moment to reflect. Then, take a breath and release. You do not need to push so hard. You do not need to fight against the current. Trust the process, move with the flow, and watch as life brings you everything you once thought you had to chase. Because in the end, the secret is simple. Stop trying, and you will receive everything you desire.